Welcome to the exhibition match between Australia and New Zealand at Auckland. Jim Maxwell is with me in the commentary box for this game.
Thanks, Richie.
The weather's delightful here today, sunny and hot, just perfect conditions for cricket. The outcome is that Australia have elected to bat. It'll be interesting to see if that was the right decision as the game progresses. A big audience is waiting to welcome these two sides onto the field. So let's take a look at the teams. Here's the lineup for Australia: Gilchrist, Hayden, Ponting, Martin, Catch, Clark, Simons, Hogg, Lee, Gillespie and McGrath. And here's the lineup for New Zealand: Vincent, Sinclair, Fleming, Astol, McMillan, Marshall, McCullum, Vettori, Tuffy, Bond and Butler. Gilchrist is now on strike. Astol is in pursuit. That's in the stands. 6 runs. There's the first runs of the day for Australia.
He really is very good straight down the ground.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Bond to bowl to Gilchrist. Fleming is after that one. That came off the pads. That's gone for 4 byes.
4 byes. That'll go down as a mistake by the keeper.
Let's see the action replay of that. Gilchrist facing. Bond has got him.
That's the early wicket they were looking for. Now they need to keep the pressure on.
Bond gets his first wicket. Gilchrist scored 6 runs from 0 balls. This was the end of the innings for Gilchrist. The next batsman in is right-handed Ponting. Ponting waiting at the striker's end. Sinclair is chasing that one. He just runs that one down to third man. Fielded by Sinclair. There's just one there. Bond to Hayden. Bond gets his second wicket.
He's bowled really well out there in this innings and he's getting his just reward.
Hayden is out for a duck.
He hasn't managed to make the scorers work much with that innings.
This was how the wicket fell. next batsman is Martin. Martin facing. Astol is after it. He's got it into the gap. That's racing away to the boundary. He found the gap with precision.
He picked that ball up beautifully. The bowler will have to be careful not to put the ball in that area again.
We can have a look at that again. Tuffy to Ponting. Tuffy is coming around the wicket. Tuffy has got him.
Great bowling there, perhaps a bit of extra pace, and it went straight through.
Tuffy gets his first wicket. Ponting is making his way back to the pavilion. We can have a look at that again. Kadich is the new batsman for Australia. Tuffy, the bolt. Tuffy is going to try over the wicket. Astol is chasing that one. Shot, that is beautifully played. Tuffy is headed straight to his mark after that one.
That looked like 4 the moment he struck.
Let's see the action replay of that. Kadich waiting at the striker's end. Astol is after that one. That's found the gap in the field. That's over the rope. 6 runs off Tuffy.
Another one of those, and this bowler could be out of the attack.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Kadich waiting at the striker's end. It's straight at Fleming. Tuffy, the ball to Kadich. Tuffy and the batsman in trouble with that one.
Richie, the umpires pride themselves on not making mistakes. Is that realistic?
Umpires have a tough task, which the game has changed in recent years. Means they're constantly under scrutiny. They need to remain calm and have good judgment. At times, it must be quite impossible to hear snicks because of the intense noise around the ground. Bond at the start of his run-up. He's winded, but I think he'll be okay to continue. Ooh, that looked quite nasty. These will be leg byes. That's gone for 4 byes.
4 byes. That'll go down as a mistake by the keeper.
We can have a look at that again. Kadich facing. done him and shattered stumps.
What a cracking delivery. It went straight through.
Bond gets his third wicket. Tadic scored 11 runs from 0 balls. This was how the wicket fell. Clark is the new batsman. Bond continues. Bond is switching to round the wicket. Stopped by Astol. Clark waiting at the striker's end. Astol is in to shoot. He's worked that into the gap. Astol out at long on. They have 6 wickets in hand. Bond continues. Bond, the ball to Clark. Three runs came from that over.
Australia are showing off some delightful stroke play today, and the run rate is ticking along well.
Tuffy to begin a new over. Tuffy is coming around the wicket. Fleming is after it. That came off the pads. Umpires signalling out as leg byes. Tuffy to Clark. Hit straight to a fielder. Tuffy continues. It's straight at Astol. Clark facing. Sinclair is after that one. 3 runs here. That's racing away to the cover boundary. He found the gap with precision.
That was good batting. He picked his spot, didn't try to smash it, just stroked it through the gap.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Clark facing. Excellent bowling by Tuffy. Tuffy continues. Astol is chasing that one. He's got hold of that one. Out to the ground.
The straight drive is his favourite shot, and it shows.
Let's see the action replay of that. New Zealand about to make a change in the bowling. Martin waiting at the striker's end. Fleming has made a change to the field. Pushed into the gap. Fielded by the man at long on. That's the first boundary for Martin. Vettori to Clark. Flicked off his legs. Comfortably held by Marshall.
He got into great position to take that catch.
What a superb catch that is.
That was a bad shot. He really seemed to lose concentration.
Vettori gets his first wicket. Clark goes for only 10. This was how the innings ended for Clark. The next batsman in is right-handed Simons. Simons facing. There it goes. Safely taken by Vettori.
It took an age to come down. The batsman really skied that one.
That was really well judged. It went a long way up.
That was moving pretty quickly, and he did well to cling on to it.
Vettori gets his second wicket. Simons is out for a duck.
A first ball duck. His teammates will be merciless when he gets back to the cricket.
This was how the wicket fell. Hogg is the next man in. Vettori to bowl to Hogg. Stopped by Sinclair. Vettori to Hogg. Swept away. Just one run. Australia are 6 for 43. Martin waiting at the striker's end. Vettori had the batsman in trouble with that one. That's the end of the 5th over. Change in the bowling for New Zealand. Hogg is now on strike. Fleming changed his field slightly. Butler to bowl to Hogg. ball signalled by the umpire.
You can't.
Hogg facing. Two runs here. An easy single there to Hogg. Butler, the ball to Martin. Butler is switching to round the wicket. Played into the gap. McMillan got it long on. It's the first boundary for Martin. Hogg waiting at the striker's end. Steered expertly into the gap. McMillan got it long on. It's just one there. Butler to Martin. It's straight at Fleming. Martin waiting at the striker's end. That's found the gap in the field. Fielded by the man at long on. A single to Martin. 4 runs came from that over by Butler. Martin face an over of spin. Really given that a whack. 6 runs.
Another one of those, and this bowler could be out of the attack.
Let's see the action replay of that. Vettori continues. He's worked that into the gap. Astle got it long off. Vettori continues. Out. He's been caught.
That was a lazy shot. He'll regret that when he sees the replay.
And that's out. Caught by Fleming.
For those of you watching at home, that's a good example of how to take a catch.
That's the 3rd wicket now for Vettori. This was how the wicket fell. Lee is the next man in. Vettori to Lee. That's out.
He seemed to completely misjudge the delivery and ended up playing all around it.
Vettori gets his 4th wicket. Lee makes his way back to the dressing room.
Out first ball. He might just as well have stayed in the dressing room.
This was the end of the innings for Lee. The next batsman is Gillespie. Gillespie to face the hat-trick ball. Gillespie facing. Vettori has got him.
He played completely down the wrong line and it made a mess of the stumps.
This was how the innings ended for Gillespie. Martin is now facing. Butler has got him.
Great bowling there, perhaps a bit of extra pace, and it went straight through it. Well, that's a pretty modest total for Australia. The bowlers can be very pleased with themselves.
Butler gets his first wicket. Martin goes for only 14. New Zealand are about to start their inning. There it goes. Kadich is underneath it and takes it comfortably.
Well, that early wicket will put the pressure on the batter.
McGrath gets his first wicket. This was how the wicket fell. Fleming is the next batsman in. McGrath to bowl to Fleming. Well, that's off the batsman's pads. Implies signalling that as leg byes. Sinclair waiting at the striker's end. Shot. Got very early by Sinclair.
Bowler didn't do too much wrong there. It was just an excellent shot.
We can have a look at that again. Sinclair facing. Simons is in pursuit. Glance down the fine leg. Fielded down at fine leg by Simons. That's the first boundary for Sinclair. McGrath to Fleming. There it goes. Kadich is after it. Fielded on the boundary by Kadich. Turned that into two. That's good running. Fleming waiting at the striker's end. Clark is chasing that one. That's racing away to the square leg boundary and found the gap with precision.
It was a good shot, but the bowler shouldn't be bowling at him.
See the action replay of that. Gillespie to bowl to Sinclair. Kadich is after that one. Kadich is not going to reach that. That was sweetly timed.
Magnificent shot. The on drive is one of the hardest shots to play, and he's one of the great exponents of it.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Gillespie, the ball to Sinclair. Tadic is chasing that one, played into the gap. There it goes, right out of the ground.
What an effortless shot. Brilliant.
We can have a look at that again. Sinclair facing. Straight up in the air. Safely couched by Tadic.
Well held by the fielder there. That took a long time to come down.
Gillespie gets his first wicket. This was the end of the innings for Sinclair. Astol comes in at number 3. Gillespie to Astol. That's over the rope. 6 runs off Gillespie. Gillespie won't like that at all.
He absolutely loves to play that shot. It's a big run score for him.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Astol waiting at the striker's end. Gillespie, the ball to Astol. McGrath continues. He'll be okay, but that's a superb throw.
New Zealand can't afford that kind of thing. That's throwing wickets.
This was how the wicket fell. The next man in is McMillan. McMillan facing. That was a no ball by McGrath. There's the umpire signal, no ball. McGrath to McMillan. Hit straight at Simons. McGrath continues. McMillan waiting at the striker's end. There it goes. Hogg is underneath it and takes it comfortably.
That was a lazy shot. He'll regret that when he sees the replay.
McGrath gets his second wicket. This was how the wicket fell. Marshall is the next batsman in. McGrath, the ball to Marshall. Hayden was after that one, stroked through the covers. There's just one there. Fleming facing. The fielder's not going to cut that off.
Great shot. That seemed to rocket to the mound.
Let's see the action replay of that. Gillespie to begin a new over. There it goes. It was really well judged. It went a long way up.
That was a bad shot. Really seemed to lose concentration.
Gillespie gets his second wicket. This was how the innings ended for Marshall. The next batsman in is right-handed McCullum. Gillespie continues. Stopped by McGrath. 22 runs required. McCullum waiting at the striker's end. Gillespie to McCullum. They have 5 wickets in hand. Gillespie continues. Gillespie continues. Hit straight to a fielder. Fleming is now facing. There's a no ball by Lee.
Can't afford to bowl too many no balls in one-day cricket.
That's over the rope. 6 runs off Lee.
He really is very good straight down the ground.
We can have a look at that again. Lee to Fleming. Fleming waiting at the striker's end. There it goes. Safely taken by Hogg.
He kept his concentration really well. He had a long time to think about that before it came down.
Lee gets his first wicket. This was how the wicket fell. Vettori comes in at number 7. Lee at the start of his run-up. He's winded, but I think he'll be okay to continue. Ooh, that looked quite nasty. That came off the pads. Umpire's signalling that as leg byes. McCullum facing. He's got it into the gap. Single to McCullum. Lee, the ball to Vettori. He's got hold of that one, out of the ground. Vettori absolutely smashed that for 6.
Hardly seemed to hit it. It's gone for 6.
Let's take a look at that in slow motion. Lee to Vettori. It's straight at McGrath. That's the end of the 5th over. The required run rate is around 1 and over. McCullum to face an over of spin. New Zealand require 7 to win. McCullum facing. So they need 7 to win from 28 balls. Hogg, the ball to McCullum. McCullum waiting at the striker's end. That's been given as a wide.
You can't get away with any width in one-day cricket because the umpire will call you for a wide.
Hogg to McCullum. McCullum waiting at the striker's end. McCullum facing. And the end of the over. The required run rate is around 1.5 and over.
The batsman will feel under pressure to score runs after such a tight over.
Lee, the ball to Vettori. Lee to Vettori. Stopped by Gillespie. New Zealand needs 6 runs for victory. Lee continues. It's high in the air. The 50 is up for New Zealand. New Zealand move on to 51. McCullum facing. Outstanding catch.
That was an important catch. He did very well to hang on.
Lee gets his second wicket. This was the end of the innings for McCullum. Next batsman in is right-handed Tuffy. Lee, the ball to Tuffy. Lee, and the batsman in trouble with that one. 5 runs required. Lee continues. Play it away with comfort. Tadic out at long off. Those are the first runs for Tuffy. 3 overs are left for New Zealand. The required run rate is around 1 and over. Tuffy is now facing. Just 4 runs needed for victory. Tuffy waiting at the striker's end. Hogg got him.
He got everything wrong there and played all around the straight.
Hogg gets his first wicket. This was how the wicket fell. Bond is the new batsman. Hogg, the ball to Bond. That was a lively delivery by Hogg. Hogg continues. Wide ball signalled by the umpire.
There are stricter rules on wides in one-day cricket, so you need to be careful not to drift down the leg side.
Bond facing. 1 run. New Zealand need just another 2 runs to win. Hogg to Vettori. There it goes. That brings the scores level, so they need 1 to win from 13 balls. Hogg continues. Two overs are left in the innings. The required run. Vettori face an over of spin. Vettori waiting at the striker's end. That's pierced the lakeside field. Single to Vettori. Australia look very disappointed with that result. So, to sum up then, New Zealand win by 1 runs. Thanks for joining us for today's play. We very much look forward to your company at the next match.